Hello and welcome to our webinar, Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sony FX9 and Audio. I am Jin from Berlin and I'm a solution specialist at Sony. And with me we have Marcus, who is audio specialist. And together we'd like to run the session today. But before that, I would like to thank our team in the background who are running this technical part of this webinar. So to start with, if you have any questions in regard to the webinar, we have the possibility that you can use the question box where you can put in your questions you have. And at the end of the session, we will have a Q&A part where we can touch upon these questions. So in the beginning, I would like to review the hardware part of the FX9. As you might know, we have released recently the new firmware version 2, which include two essential audio features that are now available. One is the support of the audio receiver slot in the XDCA, and the other one is if you use the XLR K3M MI shoe adapter to get further XLR inputs. It is now supported also in the digital mode. But first, I would like to give an overview of what options you have with the FX9. So one is, of course, the multi-fill interface that is located on the handle, where you can easily attach our accessories like UWPD series, wireless microphone, or XLR K3M to extend the XLR inputs for channel 3 and 4. Then, of course, we have internal XLR connectors 2 times as a standard. And of course, you have the possibility to use a slot-in wireless unit in the XDCA FX9. So giving an overview over the body, we have 4 channels in the FX9, which is mandatory for professional productions, for interview situations where you have where you need 4 channels, or in productions where you have persons that are speaking, but also you're recording atmosphere, sound for the background as well. And as we know from the ENG camcorders, like shoulder camcorders, we have the possibility to choose the input source as on a microphone level or on a line level. Line, for instance, if you use a small mixer, so you have the possibilities to switch on the body itself. As you can see on the left side, we have 4 wheels for leveling the audio, and then you have on the left side from the wheels the switches where you can choose between the inputs like external XLR inputs or the MI shoe or the internal microphone. So on the body there is a part where you have a small microphone included if you need to record some atmosphere sound. The channel 3 and 4 you can switch by the menu, but Marcus will touch upon these later on. And further on, talking about XLR, we are offering these the XLR box extender on the MI shoe called XLR K3M. And with this, you have, of course, all the standard adjustments that are needed. It comes along with a kind of dual input for XLR and TRS in 6.3 millimeter, and we have also included a 3.5 millimeter stereo plug on it that you can use stereo microphones as well. And including it in the package is also an extension cable, so you can place the XLR box also to a different place at the FX9. From the XLR coming to the wireless systems, Sony has started with wireless microphones in 1958. this was far before I was born. So I would like to hand over at this time to my colleague Marcus, who can tell you more about these days back in 1958. So, Marcus.
Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much for your introduction. Yeah, my name is Marcus Warlick. I'm the product specialist for the Pro Audio product in Sony Europe. And yeah, this is an advertisement from the US. First radio mic 1958. Nice to see. Yeah, we have a nearly 60 years old history, or 60 years history in radio mics now. And you see the first one was also a mobile version, so not an installation version. Going to the next slide. Thank you very much. So here you see the two series we talk about today. First is the UWD series, which is our standard system for all camcorders with MI-Shoe. And then we're talking about the DWX series, which is our high-end full digital system for any kind of production. In the UWD series, we have two types of receiver, or we have three types of receiver. The UXP03D is the two-channel receiver, comes on top of the MI-Shoe. The UXP4D is the one-channel receiver, which comes in different combinations. And then we have the P40 body pack, of course, the P40 plug-on, and the handheld mic. So whatever you need as a type of transmitter, the UWD series will have a device for you. If we look on the single kits we offer, then we have three versions here. Everything is in a box, so a lavalier mic, a body pack, belt clips, mini jack XLR output cables if you like to use this output, also mini jack cables if you like to use a mini jack input on some of the cameras you like to use. And then D21 is body pack and receiver, D22 is the handheld with the receiver, and D26 is a plug-on and a body pack and a one-channel receiver. And of course, we have also dual channel kits with coming with the P03D dual channel receiver, and then two body packs for microphones, belt clips, cables, and whatever you need. And of course, the SMAC P3 to use it on the MI-Shoe. Coming to the portable receiver, I will show this in a minute hands-on, but most important for us is the quick and easy setup with AFC automatic free channel scan. I show how this works in a minute. And then we have the new MI-Shoe, the SMAC P5, which gives you analog but also digital connection to your camcorder, which gives you some advantages. And I show this in a minute. Now, here's one of the advantages is the viewfinder functions. If you use the digital input, then the viewfinder shows you the strength of the RF signal coming into the receiver, and it shows you if the transmitter is muted, and it shows you these in the top right corner, so you can see how the healthy status of your radio mic system is without taking your eye from the viewfinder. The digital interface is on PXW FX9, on the Z280, on the Z190, and on the latest version of the Alpha cameras. This means the output from the receiver into the camcorder is a 96 kHz 24-bit digital signal, so you save one DA/AD conversion. And of course, we have the XDCA adapter, where you have a slot, and in the slot you can use the two receivers. We have the Urix SO3D and the DWR SO3D, and this gives you, of course, the ability to use 4 channels, 2 on the MI-Shoe and 2 in the XDCA adapter. The SO3D, the third receiver of the UWD series, has a digital output, so it goes digital from the receiver into the camcorder. Of course, it's a true diversity receiver, so 2 channel, which gives you, or 4 RF amplifiers, gives you 2 channels of audio. It has DAP, digital audio processing. What it is, I explain in a second. And of course, you have a sync function over infrared, so you can do a scan and find a frequency and sync this to your transmitter. Yeah, and you have the 2 channel, the 4 channel audio if you like to use the MI shoe on top. And of course, this receiver, like all UWB receivers, are compatible with all series on the analog side we ever had. It's the UWP series and also the V800 series. So if you have, in case, transmitter which is from the beginning of the 90s and works with the frequency range the receiver covers, it will work with these receivers. The offer we have is the kit. So if you buy an XDCA, you can get a kit version, which includes then the SO3D and 2B40 body pack, 2 microphones, belt clips, and everything is needed. So the only thing you need is 2 batteries for the transmitter, and then you can start. If you want to know the price or anything more about this, ask your local dealer, please. Coming to the DWX series components, we have, of course, 90-inch rack receiver and other stuff, but we're talking today about the mobile version. So the SO3D is the latest version of our 2-channel full digital slot-in receiver. One advantage is it's very light, it's just 190 grams. And the second advantage is the 144 megahertz bandwidth. And of course, we have now adapters, so you can change between 15-pin Sony slot-in to 25-pin uni slot if you like to use a sound device mixer, an Aton mixer, or any other device which has to handle universal slot pin layout. Then you can use the SO3D in this device without any problem. The BO3R is the micro body pack. It's just 98 grams, very light, very small. The B30 is the standard body pack, only 20 grams higher in weight, but let's say one size of an AA battery bigger. And the PO1 is a plug-on, which has, of course, 48 volt phantom power, like the plug-on on the UWD series also. And then we have a handheld. So also on this series, you have 4 different transmitters, which hopefully fits all the needs you have. Yeah, what I mentioned before is very light. It has a low latency audio, and this is the benefit of the digital connection between the receiver and the camcorder. So if you change to one of our 4 codecs, then the camera get noticed about this because the codecs have different latencies, and the camera will delay the audio that is always lip synced with the video. So the file on your storage media has a 0 latency in this case, because we have the synchronization between receiver and camera. There's a remote control, which I explain also in a minute. Oh, I explain a lot of things in the next minute. But 140 megahertz, 44 megahertz bandwidth. So we have 2 versions for the U, which covers the whole range from 470 to 740 megahertz. And of course, if you like, you can switch on AES-256-bit encryption, which is a very nice feature on top of all the other ones. Yeah, like coming to the cross remote, this is something which is unique, and this is one of the absolutely key points we have. So in a normal situation, and you see this here in blue, you send out a UHF signal, which includes digital data, and it's a digital transmission to your receiver, and your signal is coming into your receiver, and job done. If you need to change something, especially in the time of COVID we have, you have to go to the artist or to the body pack or to the transmitter, and you have to touch this and change maybe output power, low cut filter, especially the audio gain, or maybe group channel if you like to change the frequency. If you use a DWX series and if you switched on cross remote, you don't need to do this. So there is a 2.4 gigahertz remote signal which control all these 10 features here on the side. Most important is changing the frequency. Second important is changing the gain, so your input attenuation, and then you have low cut and output power and all the other things you can change without touching your protagonist, your artist. Of course, the 2.4 is not as strong as the UHF signal, so the range the cross remote covers is not the same range as the UHF transmission covers, but it gives you a good range, about 10 meters, a radius of 10 meters around you. It's a comfort zone where you can control your transmitter without touching anyone. And I think this works for 2 channels, of course, with the receiver. This is, from my point of view, one of the biggest advantages. And I use cross remotes wherever I can. And I had very often the situation that I need to change something, and yeah, it's just a fingertip on the display on the knobs on the receiver. What is the difference between digital and analog on the UWB series? So what is the digital between UWB and DWX series on the transmission side? I don't know if you are familiar a little bit with how a transmission works, but traditional analog transmission is FM modulation, frequency modulation. So you get your mic input, you compress it because the bandwidth you can use is not big enough to have the full dynamic inside. This is for all systems the same. And then you transmit it on an FM modulation, and then you do the thing vice versa, and you get out your audio signal. And the problem of FM modulation, you know, is if you go with your car into a tunnel, then the noise goes up, and then you lose your radio station. We use this FM modulation because it's very pricey on the UWB series, but we have changed how the compander, the compressor and expander works, and how the output works. So the compander is working on the digital side. So we're doing an AD conversion, 96 kilohertz, 24-bit, and then we do very precisely in the digital domain the compression, go back to analog, use the low-cost FM modulation, go back, use an AD conversion, make the expanding very precisely, and then we go out analog, or you use the SMAC P5 together with the digital input on the new camcorders, and then you have a 96 kilohertz 24-bit signal into your camcorder. So it's a hybrid system which uses the low-cost, well-known FM modulation together with a digital companding, which is really nice. If we go to DWX, our high-end system, then you do only one time an AD conversion, that is after the input of the mic, and then you stay fully digital. So the codec is doing digital, and then you do digital modulation, you transmit it, you get a digital demodulation, and then you get a digital conversion from the codec back to a 96 kilohertz 24-bit signal, and that goes into your FX9 over the XDCA adapter. So DWX is fully digital, and the difference between is, of course, the audio quality. The DWX has a higher audio quality, it's 10 hertz to 22 kilohertz fully linear. And of course, the digital input acts more like a cable mic input. So if you change your position, if you go around on stage, if you go around on set, the typical issue with the FM modulation is not happened in the DWX series. So that's a really nice system, and I'll show you also this in a second. Yeah, here's the frequency range we cover in Europe. That's the European version. And here also DWX has an advantage. This is 144 megahertz with a nice overlap here in the middle. And the UWB series, we have 3 versions with up to 72 megahertz, which covers also everything what is usable in Europe on this side. Frequencies for other regions are different. Okay, let's summarize the features. Here on DWX, we have always a yes in every point, or not on the digital audio processing, because that's not necessary on the DWX. It is fully digital, but both have true diversity, the easy quick setup, some sync functions in DWX over cross remote, in UWB over NFC, and of course with the right MI shoe and the XDCA, you can do 4-channel of audio if you like. Prime support is another important fact on this. UWB series comes with prime support free, so that's free for I think 2 years in the most countries, and you get help desk, and you get a setup assistance, and you get a 14 days repair, which includes also the shipment, so pick up and send it back to you. On DWX series, you have prime support elite, This means we exchange your device. If you switch on and it will not work, or it shows PLL error or whatever, then you phone prime support and you get in mostly under 48 hours a new device. If you have registered your device before, that is very important. So go to the website pro.sony and register your products, and this is free of charge for 2 years. And of course, if you like, you can also buy add-ons for years 3, 4, and 5, and this will cover then all these issues you maybe have. Of course, if we open the body pack and half a liter of water is coming out, then you have to pay for this repair, because that's not under warranty. But you get in a very short time, mostly under 48 hours, wherever you are in Europe, a new device. So the show can go on even if you have to pay later for the repair. Prime support, especially the lead one, is really nice. Why Sony? Yeah, that is the overall questions. What we think is that we have the best combination between camcorder and radio mic. The teams in Japan work together, and everything is made in a way that it works easily and fluently. We have a wide range of setups, so 4-channel, which can be mixed in every way, is possible. Very important point is only one battery. The receiver is powered over the MI shoe or over the slot. So no extra battery is needed. So you don't have to control the battery status of your receiver, which is on top of your camcorder. You only control the battery of your camcorder and you are fine. I think this is really helpful. The viewfinder information is nice, the zero latency is nice, and of course, if we're making more products and more camcorders, then it will be future-proof, because you will always get access to the audio part over the MI shoe or the slot. Yeah, time for some hands-on demo, and I think I have to share my screen. Here we are. Okay, now I hope you can see me live. And let's look on my script. Yeah, first only one short shot about this adapter. I have it here in my hand. There's a lot of options Jin has explained. It can be digital analog output, and of course the input number 3 has this plug-in power, so you can even use the 2.4 volt phantom power if you like to use a mini jack stereo mic. But I will maybe do a video about this today or next week, and you find this on my YouTube channel. Search for my name and you get more infos and more videos about Sony radio mics. But let's go and let's show the UWD series. What is very important for setting out a radio mic is, of course, a receiver. It's a transmitter, but of course, very important are gummy bears. So if you ever have a stress situation, take a gummy bear and it will make you happy. Coming back to the camcorder, here are the 2 XLRs. Let me zoom in a little bit and you can see it hopefully better. So here are the 2 XLRs, which you can change to line mic or mic plus 48 volt phantom power. These are the only audio inputs on the camcorder with XLRs. The rest is the MI shoe. And of course, we have here the ECM MS2 as a stereo mic, and we use the MI shoe to set it up. And one thing very important, keep these plastic parts. There's also a plastic cover for the MI shoe on the SMAT P5. It makes sense to cover it. I mean, the pins are robust, but there's a lot of pins. If you bend them, then you will get a problem. So don't put it in your bag without the cover. So take care that the cover is always on top. Yeah, it's very simple. I mean, let's show the SMAT P3 as a single product. Here is the SMAT P3 as the SMAT P5 as it comes, and here on the back side you see the analog digital switch. If you have a camcorder which supports this, then switch to digital. Yeah, you mount it on the receiver, you slide it in, and job done. And you see it's switches on. Yeah, that's better. It switches on directly, and yeah, you see, I don't need a battery case. It will still work fine. So no problem with this. And then you have the transmitter. Let's go and zoom out a little bit that you see it better. Okay, if you want to set it up, of course you have to change the receiver to the frequency range which is legal in your country. Let's say if you're in the UK, is only channel 38, which is the legal countrywide for ENG. That is from country to country different. The 470 to 694 megahertz is always available in ITU, but how to use it and what is legal and what not, and where you need a license, that's different. Let's say in Germany, you don't need anything. You can switch on whatever you want as long it is CE certificated. And as long as it's between 470 and 694, but change to the frequency range you like to use. So you like to use channel 21 or 22 or 25 or 3 channels and so on. And then, and this is the important point, is and I think I will change to this camera here. Then you can see it a little bit better. The only thing what you press is the sync button for 3 seconds, and it will start a scan. It blinks and show you a free available channel. You bring these 2 devices together, and it will switch on the body pack and sync the frequency, and you're ready to go. You see RF is coming up here, and if I put a microphone on, I have audio. And that is pretty much all. Yeah, that's all you have to do. You only need this sync one time and you're ready. You can use more transmitters. If you say I'm in a multi setup, I have a press event where I have 5 cameras with 5 Sony radio mics. You don't have to use 5 body packs. You can go into the menu, say sync again, and you put another body pack on top or a handheld or whatever it is, and it will sync as long the main frequency range this device cover is the same. And that's pretty much all. You're ready to go. Now you start transmitting. And I would do this wherever I am on location. I would do this first. So scan. You never know what's going on. There's a lot of DVB-T which change at the moment during the 5G coming up. There's a lot of whatever, baby phones, credit card reader, and whatever it is. So find the frequency range is legal in your country, switch to this frequency range, do a scan, sync to the device, and you are ready to go. And that's pretty much all. Then that works for the handheld and also for the plug-on in the same way. If we change, and I think I will put a microphone on here. So there's a lock mechanism. And now we have audio signal. Let's change to the side view here. If you want to set it up in your camcorder, then you have 2 choices. One is the software menu over the menu button here, and then you can go to audio and you can set up input and output connectors. But first you have to choose the hardware switches here, because the input, the main input, like external, internal mic or MI-shoe, can be switched on channel 1 and 2 only over these hardware switches here. So go to MI-shoe for both or for one, and then you are ready to go. To see it in a better way, it makes sense to go to the status view. Let's go off menu. Let's go in status view. And this is page number 2. There are several pages here. Start with 1 and 2 and 3. And 3 is the audio page. And you see the audio is coming in here. And we have chosen the MI-shoe. You can touch the screen. And if there's some options, then you can change it over the jog dial or with your fingers. And that is pretty much all. Yeah. If I go back here to extern, then you see that I has input number 2 is minus 50 dB, and it has the phantom power and so on. And you can go in and change the level here if you like. That's your personal choice. 50 dB
Marcus,
is fine.
Marcus, maybe you can switch the screen that we can see it in
Oh
full
yeah, you're
screen.
right.
The touch panel, that would be cool.
I can go to the touch panel here. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then we have a question by Rakesh, how to see channel 3 and 4 bars on the LCD display if using the XLR K2 or the XLR K3. So here with the status, I think you can
With the status, yeah.
You can see it here.
And you can even say what is the monitoring channel 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, or mix all, or channel 1 alone, channel 2 alone. So here you can set what you like to monitor. I monitor in this case channel 1 and 2.
So Marcus, maybe you can just put on the XLR adapter on the MI shoe, and maybe we can.
Yeah, let me finish the rest, and then we do the
sure.
XLR.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
good.
Finish my schedule. Yeah, so that is all you have to do. Let's go on the MI shoe here. So channel 1 is now the MI shoe, and channel 2 is the first channel of the radio mic. By the way, if you use the ECM MS2, is very important that you use the red one, which is here on channel 2, as if you use the mic in mono mode. So if you use the mic in mono mode, which you can do, use the red XLR, because it stays here for mono mode. But use this because this is a MS middle side microphone, and you will not use the side microphone. You use the middle microphone for the mono input. So that's what I have chosen here, and I think I can show this if I switch on this here. Yeah, now you see both, hopefully. So choose channel 1, and input is now the red XLR of the shotgun. By the way, if you use the MI shoe, you cannot change the gain on the knobs here. So this is fixed. Yeah. You can change it on this mic here. This is fine. This is the stereo mic, but you cannot change this over the MI shoe. There is no way to level this. You see this button here is grayed out. Yeah, what we can say more about the UFBD? I mean, you're ready to go. What you get if you buy the body pack, then you get the plug-on and you get the ECM, the ECM1 microphone for use. It's an Omni microphone, which sounds absolutely okay. Let's start. I think, yeah, maybe we have a short look into the rest of the menu. Go out of the status menu and go into the menu mode. So channel 1 is now the MI shoe, and here you can change the input of channel 2, but you can change only input 1 and input 2. You cannot change to the MI shoe. This can be done only on the hardware switches, as we have done before. And then you have channel 3 and channel 4 we use in a second. Input reference, that's fine. I mean, minus 50, as lower your level is, as more sensitivity your signal has. Yeah. But minus 550 is fine for the most mics, especially for all the Sony shotgun mics. And the line input reference is +4. That can be changed into EBU level if you like, or to 0 dB, but even the +4 is fine. If you're in the European Union, if you try to sell your content to a broadcaster, maybe EBU L is the correct thing for you. Reference level, wind filter. The wind filter is try to filter out the wind, but it cuts also some high frequency. So test it before you use it. Yeah, check it if you can accept this wind decreasing noise, but also the decreasing of the high frequencies. That is something you have to find out for yourself. And then we have the level auto control. Yeah, auto is okay. You can go in and do it manual, but the auto function is really nice. Especially we see the limiter and the AGC, the automatic gain control, which cannot be switched off. It's always on 6, on -6. So if you reach the -6 dB on the input, then it starts limiting your device. So from my point of view, the extra limiter here is not really necessary. You can do this and put this on top, but in the end, you have two limiters stacked over each other. I would even then go, if you need a harder limiting, and go to -9 or -12 if you like. 1 kilohertz tone bar is just a test tone, and then we have how to check your audio level on your headphone level inside, or just audio input level. Yeah, leave it as it is, if just what you prefer to see to hear. And that's all. The 99 we see here is more or less the overall output, like a master fader. Leave it on 99. There's no reason to change this. Okay, that is pretty much all for the UWD series. Let's change to the DWX series and go back to here. What you need is, first of all, gummy bears. Very important. If you're under stress, eat some gummy bears. And you need a screwdriver, a small Phillips screwdriver. Open the two screws. Take the plastic cover away, and you have the connector side. And let's do a great test for the FX9. Yeah, take the battery off. Will it work? Will it work? That is a good question. Will it work? That is the question. Hard reset. So here is the XDCA adapter. Let's try to slide in, and then it's pop down. Here's the connectors. So, and a big battery, V-mount. Okay, yes, it starts. So, hard reset has worked properly. So go back and use open the 4 screws for the slot. And then take, in first moment, this thing here, that's the URX, the Universal Receiver SO3D, so slot in number 3D for dual. And yeah, so slide it in and switch it on, and it will, can we see it on this camera here? Now we can see it. It's backlighted if you like, and it's the same process. You can start a scan over the set function, and here the scan is by infrared, but all the body packs have the infrared on the left side of the NFC logo, on the right side of the NFC logo, sorry, and you put it on the infrared button, which is here, and then it works and start the scan. So in this setup here, which is now a long camera, we have 2-channel UWD on top of the MI shoe and 2-channel from the XDCA. And if we go to the menu, and if we go on status, then we can change now these to the different input sections. And this is wireless, and this is wireless. And now you get 4 channels of radio mics into your camcorder. And that is pretty much all for the setup. Of course, use 4 different frequencies. And for here, sorry, this is only 1 channel, but I will use the 2-channel receiver with the Smart P3D. And now you see what has changed. It has changed to my shoe to analog, and I will change it here to MI-SHU, and now we have 2 channels MI-SHU and 2 channels of the XDCA adapter. Yeah, and that's all you have to do. So do the same thing, start a scan, think the frequency the receiver found, and you're ready to go. And then you can have 4 body packs or a mix of body packs, handhelds, and plug-ons. Next is DWX, and this is more or less the same setup. So go to your slots, take the receiver out, use the SO3D. Take care that you have bought this with the 15 pin. Of course, you can get this with the 25 pin you like. And yeah, then you get these mounting plate because the slots have different sizes. And you slide it in. It switches on the LEDs. I think you can. Oh. And in the meantime, the gummy beer. So, yeah, you can see it now, I guess. So it shows you all the 2 channels. It shows you RX1, which is receiver number 1, and then transmitter number 1, and then receiver number 2, and transmitter number 2. So that's all you have to do. And I will use one of the body packs here. It's the B30. Let's take it out of the box. And let's put a battery inside. So that is the what it is. That is the right. This is the right battery. That is a Sony NPBX1. It's a lithium-ion battery. That's also one of the advantages of the DWX. It's rechargeable. It's a battery which comes from our Action Cam. So wherever you are, you can buy this battery. And yeah, you can also use, of course, forget to show. You can also use. This is the adapter coming. This is the battery adapter coming with the B30 body pack. It's an AA battery adapter. So I use always the Eneloops, the Eneloop Pros. That is my preferred rechargeable nickel metallurgy battery. I'll slide it in, and it will not work because my battery maybe are not charged. That is a typical thing. So, oh, sorry. Here we are. So now we have working batteries. And what you see, because I've set it up before, is going to the right channel, that it shows you here the name, it shows you battery status, it shows you cross remote status, and it shows you the audio input. So whatever you do, you can go down and change parameters if you like. But before we do this, I think we connect the cross remote because that is the most important part. It's very simple. You go to the receiver, you switch channel 1 and channel 2 off, you press the minus button and switch channel 1 on, and it says scanning. You go on to the transmitter, switch it off, press minus, switch it on, and it says, if you do it correct, it says scanning. So this is the same process how you pair your Bluetooth device with your mobile phone. It phones a receiver, a transmitter, you press set and job done. Yeah, it gets information, it changes information over 2.4, and if it's ready, pairing done, and you see battery status is there. If I change the view, you will see that remote is there, and on top you will have also the audio. So you see now RF is there, quality level, which is the digital data rate. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Sorry, yeah, that is maybe better. So it shows you here RF level, data rate, and the audio if you connect a microphone. If we go if you go to the menu, there's also on the wireless input nothing to change. So it's just wireless. It doesn't even say wireless channel 1 or channel 2. So look, in the top is wireless is 1 and the second is channel 2. But that's pretty much all. Now you can go. What the receiver can do on top is, of course, it can do a free channel scan, an active channel scan, and now you can change over cross remote parameters. Let me show you what we can do, and can we see this on the display? So hopefully you can see it now. Yeah, maybe you can see it. It shows gain of 12 dB. So we have 12 dB. The input sensitivity reduced about 12 dB. Go to TX number 1, and then use the minus button. Go into the menu and see also 12 dB here. Press the set button for a second. It starts blinking. Change it 16 dB and 18 dB, and now you see it's 18 here on the display. And this will work. This will work with the frequency, the output power, the low cut, and all the other points. 10 points overall I show in the PowerPoint. And that's pretty much all. I mean, you can use this with the handheld. You can use this with the plug-on and all the other DWX transmitters we have, like the micro polypack, which I haven't shown to you, just to see the size comparison between these two. So this is 25% smaller and even 25% lighter than this one. Yeah, that's pretty much all from my side.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions?
So, yes, we have several questions. To start with the last one, do we need to change battery type option in transmitter between lithium and nickel methyl hydrate? I think you don't need to change any options, or there's no.
Now you can. The point is that if you use batteries, everything based on the voltage. So if the battery symbol in the display, which is shown here on, I don't know if it will get, yeah, it shows here. So it shows full battery. This based on the voltage. And nickel metal hydride have only 1.2 volt, batteries have 1.5, and lithium batteries have even 1.6, 1.8 or more. So the point where the receiver says, this is my discharging curve, is different for every battery type. So if you want to have the best running time, or the longest running time, change between battery type 1, 2, and 3. 1 is alkaline, 2 is nickel metal hydride, and 3 is lithium-ion batteries.
And then we have a question if you can mute the receiver from the camera side. So I think it's
you cannot mute the transmitter from the camera side. You can do it over cross remote with the DWX series, because you can say, I put the the transmitter in sleep mode. Sleep mode means RF is off, audio is off, your artist has privacy to do whatever he wants, and it saves you around 35% battery running time. If you're coming back on stage, or if you're coming back on set, in the range of the cross remote, you can start and make it active again. So that's something you can do remotely. On the UWD series, we have only the mute button, which is here is the mute button. If you switch it on, you see it shows mute and blink orange. And this mute is also shown in the viewfinder if you have the digital interface connected. But there is no way on the UWD series to do it remotely.
Okay, thank you. We have another one from the UWPD series. If we use the URX slot-in version, is it also possible to use the MI shoe receiver at the same time? And as we can,
of course,
see, well, as we have thought, yeah, we have seen this, so it is possible.
Yeah.
Then I have another one from the beginning. It's from Falco. If we can use the XLR K3M also with another handle. I assume you mean the kind of third-party handle if we are not using the original part as a top handle. unfortunately, as the original handle from Sony has got a multi-connector on the bottom side, which the third-party handle don't have, it's not possible to get the MI shoe running without. I mean, you need an active shoe for this. So once you detach the top handle, then you don't have any MI shoe possibilities anymore, unfortunately. So we don't have any adaptation from this multi-connector to MI for third-party grips or handles. Then there's another question, Marcus, about the limiter mode. Can you touch upon that? I think it was still still with the DWX series then.
In the DWX series we have no limiter in the transmitter, so it's based on you to handle the gain correct. But because it's digital, it acts like a standard microphone input on any mixing desk. You can go 20 dB lower than you normally do, and you get a nice signal, which a lot of spare dBs on top. So there's a lot of dynamic which can be still used, and it will not get noisy. That is a big difference to the analog FM modulation. The FM modulation needs always the highest input you can get to get the best signal noise ratio. On digital, it doesn't matter. So if you set up your mic and you say, I'm doing an interview and maybe there's whatever, a truck is passing me and it will get loud, or somebody starts crying, whatever. You can handle this, get the level down in the input attenuation, and save you 20 dB for some spare loud noises if you like. This will work. On the UWD series, because this is FM modulation, we avoid this problem in what I would like to show you here. Yeah, switch on the display, and I hope you can see it. First of all, the mute shows only also a microphone here, which is crossed, but switch it off. You can go to the gain mode, and if you press the set button now for 2 seconds, you can change the gain mode, and you can change it in 2 ways. One is, let's start first, the auto gain, then it shows you auto here in the display. And what it does is it switches a limiter into the input. So even if you have an explosion behind you, it will maybe overdrive the microphone directly, but it will not overdrive the input of the section. So if you're doing whatever, wedding videos, industry filming, and if you're alone with your camcorder, you will not take care that the audio is maybe set up correct. Use the limiter and it will be fine. Of course, the limiter will be audible if it's trying very hard to limit, but this is even better than losing the recording by getting some problems with distortion. What this mode has also in, if you go from auto back to 15 dB boost, that's something not really important for the body pack, but it gives you another 15 dB more sensitivity. So it can not handle so much SPL anymore, but it shifts the reference point about 15 dB. And this is more important for the handheld. So if you do a handheld like this, that is fine, everything works, and you change it. But what happens if you have a handheld on the table where you have 20 handhelds in a typical interview, sports or political interviews, where you have 20 body packs, 20 handhelds on the table, and these are half a meter away? Then the sensitivity is not high enough in normal mode. So you change to this boost mode, and then you get up to 15 dB, which you still can decrease in 3 dB steps if you like, but it gives you up to 15 dB more sensitivity, and then it works a little bit like a shotgun. Yeah? It's not a shotgun. The capsule is an card read capsule. It's not a supercard or hypercard read, but it gives you a signal which is usable. And the level is usable. That is most important. Anything more?
Yeah. Do we offer different label mics with wireless, like Omni or Cardiac?
Yes, we offer different level marks, but we don't offer a cardioid at the moment. We offer different level marks with different quality levels with the BPM, with the BMP connector. And of course, we offer also different capsules for the handheld, and that's, I think I haven't mentioned. On the UWD series and also on the DWX series, you can change the capsule. This is a standard industry mount. You know the manufacturer who has made this mount, so that's is the same. And all capsules from this manufacturer will work directly. But we have also somewhere, here it is. And also adapters for different other types of capsules. So if you want to use an 800 or 900 euros very nice condenser capsule from the manufacturer of your choice, it normally will work. This works also for the DWX series. So more or less, I've counted over 50 capsules which will work directly on the handheld.
Yeah. Another one is more a kind of request about, well, do we have some tips about setting up on 2 or 4 channels of audio? For example, when we are using MI-SHU and XLR at same time to get the same audio level. So
yeah,
about the settings.
Yeah, there is a difference. The MI-SHU tend to be more sensitive than the standard XLR. So the XLR on the side or the mini jack on the output of the receiver on top, they are doing the standard microphone level minus 60 dB as a reference level, but the MI-SHU tend to be more sensitive. So if you use, let's say, 2 channels over the MI-SHU and then another 2 channels over the XLRs because you don't have the XDCA, but you like to use 4 channels, then you can of course use the cold SHU adapter, which I also have somewhere. Too many things on my table here, but you can use the cold SHU adapter here on this, and then you have 2 XLR cables which going into the XLRs here. But then you have to change that the MI-SHU, you have to change the level on the receiver side to minus 10 dB. You can do this. You can do this in the receiver. So in the receiver, you can change the level to minus 10 if you like, and then both receivers are in the same level. Yeah. Okay.
And then, last question, I think, for today. How safe is the new DWX for URC for battery leaks?
For battery leaks.
For URC?
Oh, okay. I don't know, not really sure if I understand the question, but you can use standard AA alkalines, nickel metal hydride, or standard AA lithium batteries. And I have used sometimes, if I use batteries from different manufacturers and they stay for whatever 6 weeks in the transmitter, it didn't care. On the BO3R, which is so small that AA batteries will not fit, we have the lithium-ion battery, which I have showed to you, the NPPX1 from Sony. This is the NPPX1. This is a lithium-ion battery, standard, 3.7 volts, and it will not give any problems. It can be for ages in the transmitter. But, and this is good to know, that you asked about this.
Yeah, sorry, we are currently seeing the top camera, so we didn't see the battery.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, typical. Yeah, that's if you are a cameraman, regie, and protagonist at the same time. So the BO3R is so small that it fits only with the NPPX1 battery here, this one here, and it runs up to 7 hours with this lithium-ion battery. It can stay for ages in the transmitter, but this transmitter has a soft switch on and off. So it will use a minimum of current even if it's switched off. So I think after a week or 2, the NPPX1 will be empty. So take care that you charge the battery or take it out if you like. But anyway, if you go on set, you will always be prepared that your batteries are in a good status. And we have several chargers on the market, one from Sony, but also several market battery chargers for this, because that is the battery which is in every action cam from Sony and in all small photo cameras. So there are hundreds of different chargers on the market you can use. I hope this is the
Great.
right answer.
Yeah, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
So I think we need to close the session for today. I think we have one slide to show in the end regarding the feedback. Yeah, thank you very much to all attendees for your time today, and also for all your questions. And we hope that we could give you some answers to it. We would really appreciate if you could give us your feedback, how the session was perceived, and yeah, for the future, we would like to give you more informations and to help to do a great job. So if there are questions, the questions we couldn't answer in this session, we will answer afterwards. Yes, thank you again for the time today. And I think, well, hopefully see and talk to you next time. And please stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.